You let her go without a fight. Indifference became your silent companion, while the pain accumulated in the unspoken lines of conversations. The truth is that, too often, we are so immersed in our own fears and insecurities that we forget to fight for those we love. It is easier to allow life to take its course than to face the discomfort of an emotional battle. The story of those who stayed is often marked by deep silences. Do you remember the small things? Those that at first glance seemed insignificant, but over time became the foundation of a love that faded away. The jokes shared, the glances exchanged, and the plans made together. All these memories turned into echoes of a connection that wasn't nurtured enough. The absence of the fight becomes a burden, and you realize that what remains is the frustration of what could have been. The missed chances echo like a distant bell, and you wonder if the unspoken words could have changed the outcome. What if you had expressed what you really felt? The fear of being vulnerable often prevents us from seeking the truth that resides in our hearts. By allowing silence to prevail, you become complicit in the indifference that destroys relationships. What could have been a great love story transforms into a bitter lesson about what it means to let someone go without a fight. The pain of regret becomes a constant weight as you reflect on the actions you didn't take. What could have changed if you had tried just a little harder? Moments unfold before you, revealing lost opportunities. It's a vicious cycle where the difficulty of facing your own feelings creates a barrier that prevents connection. The fear of exposing yourself, of being rejected, becomes stronger than the love you still feel. Indifference, when left unaddressed, turns into an iceberg. The visible part is just a fraction of what is really happening beneath the surface. You may not realize it, but this indifference can be deadly for love. By allowing fear to take root, what you consider safe becomes an emotional trap. The struggle, even though painful, is essential. It's the only way to give the relationship a chance to evolve, to transform. In the end, reflection becomes a crucial part of your process. You learn the importance of fighting, the importance of communicating. When someone leaves, what remains is the lesson that love needs to be actively nurtured. Emotional battles are not always comfortable, but they are necessary. To prevent silence from becoming the norm, you must confront your insecurities. Recognizing that indifference is a way of letting go without a fight is the first step toward avoiding the same mistakes. By opening yourself up to vulnerability and allowing yourself to feel, you can rebuild bridges instead of letting them crumble. Love requires effort, and it is in the struggle that you find true connection. And so, in the end, you become stronger, more aware of what truly matters. What remains is the hope that when looking back, you can remember not only what was lost, but also what can be built in the future. This is the true essence of love. Do you remember the day everything started to change? Sometimes the signs are there, but we choose to ignore them. The distant look, the lack of enthusiasm in conversations, unfulfilled promises. These small details accumulate, creating an invisible barrier between you. Communication, which once flowed like a river, begins to dwindle, and indifference takes its place. When you choose to remain silent, you believe you are protecting the other person from your pain, but in reality, you are hurting yourself even more. Silence, although it seems like a temporary solution, turns into a poison that slowly corrodes the relationship. Each day that passes without you expressing your emotions is a day in which love empties a little more. You may feel the distance growing, but the fear of confronting the situation becomes greater. The conversations that never happened turn into ghosts that haunt your mind. You think about the times you could have spoken, but decided to stay silent. What could have been a healthy discussion transforms into a build-up of resentment. The lack of dialogue creates a heavy atmosphere, where both feel smothered, yet unsure how to break this cycle. It's a silent trap, where the absence of words carries far more weight than any misunderstanding. You realize that by allowing indifference to prevail, you become an accomplice to your own sadness. The emotional struggle, which could have been an opportunity for growth, is avoided. This struggle is not just about expressing discontent, but also about seeking clarity and understanding. When you allow yourself to be vulnerable, you open the door for the other person to do the same. The walls you've built around your heart start to crumble, revealing hidden truths. Recognizing your own mistakes is an essential part of this process. You wonder if you could have done more, if you should have been more assertive or kinder. These reflections are valid, but they should not become burdens. The important thing is to learn from them. Each moment of silence is a lesson about the importance of communication. Each unspoken word is an opportunity for personal growth. You begin to understand that the struggle is not just for a lost love, but for yourself. By confronting your fears, you become stronger. By opening your heart, you not only allow yourself to love, but you also allow yourself to be loved. This vulnerability transforms into an act of courage. Life is not made up solely of happy moments. It consists of ups and downs, conflicts and reconciliations. It's possible that when you look back, you may feel anger at yourself for not having fought harder. But this anger should not turn into harsh self-criticism. Instead, use it as motivation not to repeat the same mistakes. Learn to value relationships, to notice when something is off, and to have the courage to address it. Life is too short to allow yourself to live in a state of indifference. From this point on, you commit to being different. You decide that in future relationships, you will prioritize honesty and emotional openness. Communication becomes a priority, not a burden. You remember that love is not something that happens by chance. It needs to be nurtured daily, and that nurturing requires attention and effort. It takes courage to face discomfort. Often you may feel exposed and vulnerable, but in doing so, you also become more authentic. Authenticity is one of the pillars of any healthy relationship. When you are true to yourself and to others, you create a safe space where love can thrive. You find that the discomfort of a difficult conversation is infinitely greater than the weight of regret that you carry. Instead of avoiding conflict, you learn to confront it. This shift in mindset doesn't happen overnight. It's a process that requires patience and practice. Every time you allow yourself to feel, every time you open up to others, you take a step toward healing. Reflecting on what has been lost is painful, but it is also liberating. You begin to see that, although you may have let someone go without a fight, this experience does not define who you are. Instead, it is an opportunity for growth and evolution. You can use that pain as a springboard to become a better version of yourself. As you look to the future, you feel more empowered. The emotional struggle you once feared is now seen as an opportunity for connection. You commit to being more present, to paying attention to the little things, and to valuing every moment. Life is made up of interactions, and those interactions shape who you are. Thus, in the end, hope becomes a constant in your journey. You wish not only to reclaim what was lost, but also to create new opportunities for love and connection. The lesson is clear. Love is a continuous act, a daily effort worth making, and more importantly, you are ready to fight for it. You realize that the first step to overcoming indifference is awareness. You need to acknowledge that at some point, you let life's routine, fear, and insecurity take over. Everyday life can easily create a veil that obscures true emotions. When you realize this, you begin to dismantle that pattern. Honest communication is not just a desire, it is a necessity. By opening up to your partner, you create a space where both of you can express your emotions without fear of judgment. This dialogue is crucial, as it allows each person to understand what the other is feeling and thinking. Transparency helps to dissipate the fog of indifference and create a stronger connection. You also realize that vulnerability is not a sign of weakness, but of strength. By exposing yourself, you show that you're willing to share your fears and insecurities. This act of courage not only strengthens the relationship, but also fosters an environment where love can flourish. When both partners feel safe to open up, intimacy deepens. The next step is to learn how to listen. Often you might be so focused on expressing your feelings that you forget to listen to what the other person has to say. Active listening is an essential skill that allows you to truly understand your partner's perspective. By listening, you not only validate their feelings, but also learn more about the dynamics that exist between you. Difficult conversations should be seen as opportunities for growth. Instead of avoiding discussions about sensitive topics, you should approach them with empathy. This means being willing to consider the other person's perspective and working together to find solutions. Sharing concerns, expectations, and desires is crucial to prevent indifference from settling in again. You also start to realize that small daily actions can make a big difference. Showing affection and attention doesn't have to be something grand. Simple gestures like sending a sweet message during the day or setting aside time for an intimate dinner can reignite the flame of love. These small actions, reinforce your mutual commitment and help build a solid foundation for the relationship. Gratitude becomes an important part of this new approach. By recognizing and expressing appreciation for the little things your partner does, you not only improve the emotional climate of your relationship, but also strengthen the bond between you. Gratitude nourishes love and combats indifference, creating a positive cycle where both partners feel valued. Another significant aspect is forgiveness. Indifference is often fueled by unresolved resentments. You need to be willing to forgive and leave the past behind. This doesn't mean ignoring the hurt, but rather choosing not to let it define the present. Forgiveness frees both you and your partner, allowing you to move forward together. You should also remember that relationships require constant effort. Love is not a destination to be reached, but a journey to be traveled daily. This involves commitment, dedication, and a willingness to face challenges. When you commit to working on the relationship, you're investing in something that can bring joy and fulfillment. Reflecting on what has been learned along the way is vital. Each experience, whether positive or negative, brings valuable lessons. By analyzing what has worked and what hasn't, you become wiser in future interactions. This not only benefits you, but also enriches the relationship, as both partners become more aware of each other's needs and desires. Additionally, you begin to explore new ways to connect. Shared experiences like traveling together or engaging in activities you both enjoy can strengthen your bond. Creating new memories helps revitalize the relationship and gives both of you a chance to rediscover the joy of being together. You should also pay attention to the importance of self-care. Taking care of yourself not only improves your well-being, but also reflects positively on the relationship. When you feel good about yourself, you're more capable of offering love and support to your partner. The balance between personal life and life as a couple is essential for a healthy relationship. Ultimately, resilience becomes a central concept. Relationships will go through ups and downs, and the ability to adapt and overcome difficulties is essential. By recognizing that challenges are part of the process, you become stronger and more prepared to face whatever comes your way. This resilience not only benefits you, but it also solidifies the relationship, showing that both of you are willing to fight for love. As you move forward with this new understanding, hope becomes a constant in your life. Love is not just an emotion, it is a commitment that requires action and dedication. You are ready to not only live the lessons of the past, but to build a future where love is cultivated, respected, and appreciated. This journey of self-discovery and growth is transformative. You not only learn to fight for love, but you also discover the power of human connection. In the end, what remains is a deep acknowledgement that every moment is precious and that true love is worth seeking, nourishing, and celebrating. You realize that to cultivate true love, honesty must be the foundation of any relationship. This means being transparent about your own emotions and being able to listen to what the other person has to say without feeling attacked. Open communication creates a safe space where both of you can feel comfortable expressing your concerns and desires. This is crucial to avoid misunderstandings that can lead to further indifference. Furthermore, you begin to understand that each person has a unique way of demonstrating love. Some express their feelings through words, while others prefer actions. Recognizing these differences is essential for strengthening the connection between you. By paying attention to the small gestures of affection from your partner, you can reciprocate in a way that resonates with how he or she feels loved. You also realize that it is crucial to set aside time for yourself and your partner. Daily life can be exhausting, and it's easy to get lost in the routine. Creating quality moments together, away from daily distractions, allows you to reconnect. These moments don't have to be elaborate. A simple walk outdoors or a dinner for two can revive the intimacy that may have been lost. The practice of gratitude, which you have already begun to adopt, becomes even more intense. You commit to recognizing and celebrating the small victories and daily gestures of your partner. This practice not only boosts morale, but also reinforces the idea that each person is valued and appreciated. By focusing on positive qualities, you reduce the space for indifference and pave the way for a deeper love. Engaging in joint activities also becomes a priority. This not only creates new memories, but also fosters a sense of teamwork. Participating in a project, whether it's a home renovation or a shared hobby, can be a powerful way to unite forces. These moments of collaboration help build a strong sense of belonging and emotional connection. Continuous reflection on your needs and desires is equally important. You start to question what you truly want in a relationship. This doesn't mean being selfish, but rather understanding that your needs are equally valid. By expressing these needs, you not only value yourself, but also encourage your partner to do the same. Relationships should be a space where both partners feel comfortable seeking what is important to them. The importance of forgiveness also becomes clearer. You realize that holding on to grudges only perpetuates pain and indifference. By letting go of the weight of the past, you allow yourself to move forward into a lighter future. This doesn't mean forgetting, but rather recognizing that everyone makes mistakes, and that forgiveness is an act of love. It creates space for healing and renewal. Vulnerability, which once seemed like a weakness, is now seen as a strength. You understand that by opening up, you not only allow yourself to be loved, but also give the other person the chance to do the same. This mutual exchange of vulnerability is what solidifies intimacy and creates an unbreakable bond. You commit to being an example of this, showing that it is safe to open up and share feelings. You also start to realize that active listening is a skill that can be improved. This involves not just hearing the words, but also paying attention to body language and tone of voice. By focusing on what the other person is saying, you demonstrate respect and genuine interest. This not only helps resolve conflicts, but also promotes deeper and more meaningful communication. The importance of recognizing and celebrating the milestones in the relationship becomes clear. Each anniversary, each achievement, and each small step is an opportunity to strengthen the connection. These celebrations don't have to be grand. A simple acknowledgement can have a profound impact. This helps create a sense of continuity and commitment. Patience also becomes a vital value. You learn that significant changes don't happen overnight. Building a healthy relationship is an ongoing process that requires time and effort. By being patient with yourself and your partner, you create an environment conducive to mutual growth. As you progress on this journey, self-compassion becomes an essential practice. It's easy to be hard on yourself when things don't go as planned. However, by treating yourself with kindness, you create a more positive inner space. This not only benefits your mental health, but also affects how you interact with others. Regular self-assessment also becomes an important part of your growth. You commit to reviewing your actions and considering how they impact your relationships. This involves being honest about your own mistakes and being willing to learn from them. This practice of self-reflection fosters greater self-awareness and an understanding of relationship dynamics. You also recognize that in a relationship, it's important to have individual space. Each person should have the freedom to grow as an individual while also growing together as a couple. This autonomy not only strengthens the relationship, but also allows each person to bring new experiences and perspectives to it. Additionally, you start engaging in activities that bring joy and personal satisfaction. This not only enhances your well-being, but also enriches the relationship. When you are happy and satisfied with yourself, it reflects in how you relate to others. You become a source of positive energy, fostering a more loving and welcoming environment. As you commit to living these changes, hope becomes a constant presence in your life. You begin to envision a future where love is active and dynamic, where communication flows freely and connections run deep. The belief that love can grow and transform becomes a fundamental truth. Thus, you find yourself more prepared to face the challenges ahead. The struggle for love is now a conscious choice, a daily decision you are willing to make. You remember that even in difficult moments, every effort is worth it. Love, at its essence, is a journey worth taking, and you are determined to walk this path with courage and resolve. The journey in search of a true and healthy love requires a constant commitment to communication. You begin to realize that, to truly connect with the other, it is vital to create a space where both feel safe to share their deepest emotions. This openness should not be seen as a burden, but rather as an opportunity to strengthen the bonds that support the relationship. One of the keys to effective communication is honesty. You learn that being honest about your feelings, even when they are uncomfortable, is essential. This doesn't mean unloading all your insecurities at once, but rather expressing what is in your heart clearly and respectfully. This honest exchange creates an environment where both can feel heard and understood. Moreover, you realize that active listening is a skill that can be developed. Listening is not just waiting for your turn to speak, but really paying attention to what the other person is saying. This involves observing not only the words, but also the body language and tone of voice. This mindfulness shows your partner that you value their opinions and care about what they are feeling. You commit to practicing active listening in all your conversations. By doing this, you create a safe space where feelings can be shared without fear of judgment. This practice helps to build a solid foundation for the relationship, allowing concerns and frustrations to be addressed before they become bigger problems. Gratitude also becomes a central part of your approach. By recognizing and appreciating the little things your partner does, you not only reinforce emotional bonds, but also promote a climate of positivity. This practice helps combat indifference, reminding both of you of the reasons you fell in love with each other in the first place. The practice of forgiveness is another skill that you strive to cultivate. Everyone makes mistakes, and carrying the weight of past grievances only serves to create barriers between you. By opening up to forgiveness, you allow both of you to move forward without the burdens of the past. This process isn't easy, but it is essential for emotional healing. By committing to building a healthy relationship, you become more aware of your own needs and desires. This doesn't mean being selfish. Rather, it means understanding that your emotions are valid and deserve to be expressed. By communicating your needs, you not only value yourself but also encourage your partner to do the same. Continuous reflection on your actions and feelings becomes an integral part of your life. You start to analyze how your decisions affect the relationship and how you can improve as a partner. This self-reflection isn't an exercise in self-criticism. It's an opportunity for growth that will benefit everyone involved. As you progress, the importance of creating quality moments together stands out. Day-to-day life can easily consume the energy of a relationship, but dedicating time to be together is crucial. These moments don't need to be elaborate. A simple dinner at home, a walk in the park, or a game night can revitalize the connection between you. Sharing experiences also becomes a priority. Participating in activities that you both enjoy not only creates new memories, but also strengthens the sense of partnership. These moments of collaboration help build a strong sense of belonging and emotional connection. You realize that mutual support is essential in times of difficulty. When one of you faces challenges, it's vital to be present and offer support. This empathy strengthens your bonds, showing that you are willing to face life's ups and downs together. Patience becomes a fundamental virtue. You understand that changes don't happen overnight, and that it takes time for love to blossom. Being patient with yourself and your partner creates a nurturing environment for mutual growth. This patience should not be seen as resignation, but rather as a commitment to the future of the relationship. Self-compassion also proves to be a crucial aspect. By learning to treat yourself with kindness, you improve your mental health and, consequently, your ability to relate to others. This practice of self-care positively reflects in the relationship, allowing you to offer love and support to your partner. You commit to being an example of vulnerability and authenticity. By opening up and sharing your feelings, you encourage your partner to do the same. This mutual exchange of vulnerability solidifies intimacy and creates an unbreakable bond. You learn that while vulnerability can be daunting, it is also what makes the connection truly meaningful. The importance of celebrating relationship milestones becomes increasingly evident. Each anniversary, every achievement, every small step is an opportunity to strengthen your connection. Celebrating these moments doesn't have to be grand. A simple acknowledgement can have a profound impact on strengthening the bonds between you. Resilience becomes an essential characteristic. You learn that relationships will go through ups and downs, and that the ability to adapt and overcome challenges is fundamental. By recognizing that challenges are part of the process, you become stronger and more prepared to face whatever comes. You also begin to explore ways to have fun together. Laughter is a powerful remedy that can ease tension and bring lightness to the relationship. Creating moments of joy and relaxation helps reinforce emotional connection and dissipate the indifference that can creep in over time. By committing to these practices, hope becomes a constant presence in your life. You envision a future where love is active and dynamic, where communication flows freely and the connections are deep. This belief that love can grow and transform becomes a fundamental truth. You remember that the fight for love is now a conscious choice, a daily decision you are willing to make. Even in tough times, you know that every effort is worthwhile. Love, at its core, is a journey worth taking, and you are determined to walk this path with courage and resolve. These reflections become an undeniable part of your being. What once seemed impossible is now within reach. You feel more confident and prepared to face the challenges ahead, knowing that in the end, true love requires effort, dedication, and above all, courage. You realize that the journey in search of true love is not just about finding the right person, but about becoming the right person for someone else. This involves a continuous process of self-discovery and personal growth. Every challenge faced in a relationship becomes an opportunity to learn more about yourself and what you truly value. Honesty is a fundamental pillar in this construction. You understand that being transparent about your emotions and thoughts is essential for creating a trustful environment. This doesn't mean you should expose every insecurity right away, but rather that you should strive to share what you truly feel, even if it involves discomfort. Additionally, you recognize that communication is not only about speaking, but also about actively listening. This skill is crucial for understanding your partner's needs. When you practice active listening, you show that you value the other person's perspective, which strengthens the connection between you. Over time, you learn to ask open-ended questions that encourage deeper dialogue. This allows both of you to explore your emotions and desires more fully. In doing so, you not only create a safe space, but also help dissipate the indifference that can arise over time. Reflecting on what each person brings to the relationship becomes an important part of the process. You start to identify patterns of behavior that may be harming the dynamics between you. This involves recognizing your own shortcomings and being willing to work on them without letting guilt or shame take over. Realizing that everyone has their insecurities and weaknesses is an important step. This awareness allows you to empathize with your partner when they also feel vulnerable. By creating a space where both of you can be honest about your flaws, you strengthen the relationship and promote mutual growth. The importance of creating meaningful moments together also comes to the forefront. You begin to plan activities that you both enjoy, from simple outings to trips or special events. These shared experiences help create lasting memories and reinforce emotional bonds. These moments don't have to be grand. Sometimes, a quiet night at home watching a movie or cooking dinner together can be just as significant as a big celebration. What matters is the intention behind these actions and the time you spend together. You also realize that routine can be a silent enemy. It's easy to get lost in daily obligations and overlook quality time. Therefore, you commit to scheduling moments to be together, no matter how busy life gets. This conscious effort is essential to keep the flame of love alive. Mutual support during difficult times is another lesson that stands out. When one partner faces challenges, it is crucial for the other to be present. This presence means not just listening, but also offering practical and emotional help. By showing that you are willing to face difficulties together, you create an environment of safety and trust. Patience and resilience also become valuable traits. You understand that relationships are not perfect and that there will be moments of misunderstanding. Accepting this and being willing to work through difficulties is what truly strengthens the bond between you. There is a recognition that even when things get tough, love can still prevail. Additionally, you learn the importance of celebrating small victories. Every positive step you both take, even if it's just a simple gesture of affection or a moment of understanding, should be acknowledged and celebrated. This helps create an atmosphere of positivity where both of you feel valued and appreciated. Forgiveness, as mentioned earlier, is an aspect you strive to cultivate. Holding on to grudges only creates emotional barriers, and by letting go of those feelings, you allow yourself to move forward. Forgiveness is not a sign of weakness, but rather an act of courage that frees both you and your partner. Vulnerability, in turn, becomes a powerful engine of connection. By opening up about your insecurities, you not only become more authentic, but also invite your partner to do the same. This mutual exchange of vulnerability is what solidifies intimacy and creates an unbreakable bond. You realize that throughout this journey, self-compassion becomes an essential practice. Being kind to yourself in moments of failure helps maintain a positive mindset. This not only improves your mental health but also reflects in how you relate to others. Regular self-assessment also becomes an important part of your growth. You commit to reviewing your actions and considering how they impact the relationship. This practice of self-reflection fosters greater self-awareness and understanding of the dynamics at play in the relationship. You begin to realize that in a relationship, it's important to have individual space. This autonomy not only strengthens the relationship, but also allows each person to bring new experiences and perspectives to it. Additionally, you start engaging in activities that bring you joy and personal fulfillment. This not only enhances your well-being, but also enriches the relationship. When you feel good about yourself, it reflects in how you relate to others. As you progress on this journey, you commit to being a model of vulnerability and authenticity. By opening up and sharing your feelings, you encourage your partner to do the same. This mutual exchange of vulnerability solidifies intimacy and creates an unbreakable bond. You learn that while vulnerability can be frightening, it is also what makes the connection truly meaningful. The importance of celebrating relationship milestones becomes increasingly evident. Each anniversary, each achievement, every small step is an opportunity to reinforce the connection. The continuous practice of gratitude and forgiveness transforms into a way of life. You realize that by nurturing these habits, you not only strengthen the relationship, but also create a more loving and welcoming space. This journey is not easy, but it is valuable and full of learning. In the end, you recognize that every step taken builds a solid foundation for the future. You are determined not to repeat the mistakes of the past, but rather to embrace what the future may bring. Love is a choice you are willing to make every day, and this determination becomes a fundamental part of your identity. What remains is the hope that, when looking toward the future, you can not only appreciate what has been lost, but also celebrate what is yet to come. True love is a continuous journey, and you are ready to walk this path with courage and dedication. You understand that building a healthy relationship requires attention to every detail. The small daily interactions play a vital role in maintaining the connection. A simple good morning or a smile when you see each other can set a positive tone for the day. These actions help remind you that the relationship is a partnership that needs to be nurtured constantly. Furthermore, you start to realize that empathy is a skill that can be cultivated. Putting yourself in someone else's shoes is essential for understanding their reactions and emotions. When you do this, communication flows more naturally and both of you feel more supported. This exchange of mutual understanding helps to prevent unnecessary conflicts and to tackle challenges in a more constructive manner. The importance of having common goals also becomes evident. Discussing the future and aligning expectations creates a sense of direction in the relationship. Whether it's about travel plans, careers, or family, having shared goals strengthens the bond. This generates a feeling of teamwork and mutual commitment, which is essential for the relationship's growth. You also recognize that expressing affection shouldn't be limited to special occasions. Simple surprises, like a thoughtful note or an unexpected gesture, can reignite the passion. These expressions of affection keep the flame alive and show that you care about the other person. Finally, the ability to laugh together is crucial. Humor is a powerful tool that can ease tensions and create joyful memories. When you and your partner can laugh at everyday situations, it not only strengthens the connection, but also brings lightness to the relationship. This lightness is essential for facing the challenges life presents. Before you go, do two things now. Take a deep breath and hold on to what touched your heart today. And if it makes sense, share this story with someone who also needs to hear it.